Hey Adrian, how's it going? Yeah, it seems like pretty good week. Yeah, I haven't looked at videos yet, but this is super promising with the squats, and this consistent improvement with the breathing pattern and the bracing as well. I think it's yeah, we just to keep going and be patient with this, and it will continue to get better. And the same thing with the deadlifts as well. Obviously, as you say, like a bit more practice um, will almost certainly help you out. Um, but yeah, I think the pain in the sort of the posterior pelvis and this I'll have a look at how this looks in video. This is exactly what we want. So and this is about in my predicted time frame, right? So I think that's really positive. Obviously, we don't slack up with doing any of the drills or like any of the attention to detail. We'll keep going until the pain is like completely gone in all departments because what this adductor pain is actually like a manifestation of the same issue. Um, so what I would suggest is if this is occurring, do even if you like feel on a set in between your sets or whenever you feel this adductor pain, just do some of those posterior hip capsule stretches on the left side, and that should help kind of clean this up. Should help you feel a bit better. Sorry, I'm being attacked by a moth-shaped thing. Um, yeah, that's mostly what I wanted to sort of record to talk to you about is just staying on top of this and attacking that left hip capsule and left glute, whatever in that kind of posterior left hip space is impeding you here. Cool, but yeah, let's take a look at the squats because I wanted to see what these look like. That already is a much better bracing pattern already. Yeah, and I agree. There's not much sign here of like hips tucking under. I would still say one of the things that I will be looking out for, and you can probably see yourself, is like some changes in the distribution of muscle, right? So I think historically, hamstrings big, quads big, but I think for the your general like size, and this is just because of what's happened with your hips, right? I reckon we'll see your ass grow basically in the next like couple of months, and it's all basically just because of like with the way that your hips were working before, it didn't really allow your glutes to like go through a proper or as much of a full lengthening and shortening cycle. Make sure that that's not a mosquito. No, we're okay. Okay, cool. I think what you're saying as well about getting used to your home bench is completely normal. I would, particularly with bench, it's like one of those obvious things where the setup is very dependent on the equipment. Cool. This does look pretty good. Obviously, this setup again, like same thing with the bench, right? It's sumoing on a different bars and plates is just a super different experience. Good. Yeah, really nice. This is a really good shot actually. There's like basically zero evidence of hips tucking under. I think what we will find is, and this also look at this position, it's like fucking great. What we'll find though is that probably there's a little bit more like biomechanical improvement to happen, where we would have a bit more like APT happening through the hips. So a little bit more of like the opposite of them tucking under, staying a bit more tipped forwards, if that makes sense. Just a touch, but this is already way better. It's like what I think what I would expect is for like let's say, this bit of your hips to be like maybe an inch higher up, if I can be like a little nitpicky in the position. But again, like the fact that you've got to this point is a huge win, and the fact that that's also correlated with the pain going away. A, just a win. We'll take that. But also B, it does tell us that the interventions that we've been working on were the right ones to get you into this pain-free state. But also, like I think I mentioned this before, it will 100% add to your performance. And yeah, look how like comfortable this depth is as well for you. It's really good. Yeah, you can see you're a tiny bit more it was pretty good actually. I'm not too. I thought I was expecting a bit more of a wobble, but yeah, not too bad. Yeah, super nice. Let's take a look at the RDLs. Just as a note, right? Don't be shy of doing these RDLs out of a rack. I always do them out of a rack because it's fucking tiring doing them from the floor. But I think it also helps you have a bit of a nicer starting position if you're not doing a rep from the floor. It just allows you to focus on it a bit more, because if you start from the floor and then you're trying to adjust your starting position, kind of as you're saying, right, you're trying to focus on your brace and your breath and all these cues that I'm giving you. It's just easier to organize all of that stuff if you've not done a rep already of a deadlift, if that makes sense, right? Yeah, that was a bit of a total capitulation of technique there. Again, so general tips: slow down, brace first. That already is getting a bit better. Still a bit aiming for and then don't aim for too much depth. I would like half the speed of these, honestly, and try to feel as well, because you can kind of, I don't know if you can see, but there's this bit here just above belt moves when you're going too deep. Yeah, that was a better start. Better start to the set, for sure. And better depth here as well. Just, yeah, this set was definitely way better. So yeah, I think just really just try not to rush, and do consider like doing these out of the rack. I think it helps a ton. Yeah, I think like some of these look almost good, but there's like there's and this is a bit too nebulous even for me to describe, but there's a lack of like a proper hinge mechanic still like generally present, and this will continue to improve with all the drills and everything, and as we get your pelvis to work a bit better, but like there's almost a particular groove that you'll identify when you get better at these. You'll know exactly what I mean, but of like yeah, when your hips push back, you gain access to like internal rotation with your kind of legs able to do this, right? If that, I don't know if that even makes sense, but both legs internally rotating as your hips go back without like collapsing in through your feet and all this stuff. That isn't necessarily happening a huge amount yet. But yeah, if you take your time with these, that will improve. What you could try to do is, yeah, I think it might help, is when you're doing your like, first set with the bar, let's say, if you grab a foam roller and hold that between your legs just above your knee, set yourself up. Definitely don't do this from the floor because it'd be impossible. But yeah, set the roller so that it's mostly behind your legs, if that makes sense. Otherwise, you'll whack it with the bar. And then slowly push your hips back. This will really encourage that internal rotation through your femurs, and that might help a bit as well. But yeah, I think the intent behind what you're doing now is like more or less perfect. It's just not quite accessible to you biomechanically, but you know it will get there, and it's definitely getting better. Anyway, cool. I hope all that made sense. I think you're doing really well at the moment, actually. So hopefully we can continue this momentum. And I think with the bench, I think we'll see some, as we've been saying, some fun stuff pretty shortly. But I'm also very excited with the squat. I think all the hard work getting this technically looking really good is going to pay off pretty soon. But yeah, good stuff, Adrian, and yeah, I will see you next week.